Hello, this is Howie here at Cedar Creek Homestead. Hope you're having a good day today. I want to welcome you to this week on the homestead. Take you around and show you a few of the things that's going on this week, or have been going on this week. And we've kind of had a busy week. It seemed like it's went by really quick, and it's been hot out here. We've had a few little showers, and when those come through, it tends to cool things down, which is good. But anyway, I'll show you a little bit here on the garden. Just a little quick walk through and update. My tomatoes are really starting to come on now that this rain's kind of slowed down, but we've still had in the last week a couple inches of rain, and but stuff's starting to look a little better, and some of them are probably never going to do anything, but some of them are. At least I may have a fall crop like this one here. It's starting to set a few little tomatoes. You know, it's kind of late. I should have had a much bigger plants. If you've seen my videos, any of them, my older videos or my opening video, we have a whole lot more prettier tomatoes usually than this. My okra, where the rabbits ate it, down here is starting to do pretty good, some of this, but the rest of the row down through here is so bad. I think the rabbits just ruined it. I'll probably till the whole row up and just mark it off. There's a cucumber that I have forgotten. I'm gonna go ahead and pick that booger and feed it to the chickens. But anyway, not that I forgot the cucumber, but I missed him. But we got the cucumbers are needing picked again. They're looking pretty and blooming like crazy, but we've had so many cucumbers. My wife has canned, and she's done about all that she's going to do with the cucumbers. Our beans are blooming. Should be ready here before too long. Peppers are coming on good. Got a row of beets through here. We need to, probably the next few days, we'll be pulling those beets up, and I like to wait right after a rain when the ground's good and soft. The squash is coming on good. Got some good looking squash this year, and I don't know what happened. I had squash bugs out here. I was going to come and spray. I come out here to spray, and they're gone. And I don't know if having these cabbages planted here made a difference. If it is, maybe I have discovered something, because stuff's really eating on the cabbages. But I've got bees all around here, but I haven't sprayed these at all, and they was looking kind of peaked, and I figured the squash bugs had them wiped out. And now for some reason the squash bugs just aren't here, and I don't know what the deal is, but that's good. I don't mind that. If they're gone, not going to hurt my feelings none. But the plants are just going crazy, these squash vines. We love yellow squash. I love zucchini too. I just didn't grow no zucchini this year, but this is just a couple of plants, and they have just went everywhere. My onions, I think about got all I'm going to get out of them. I'm going to have to bend the stalks over. Some of these have already fallen over like that. We've had some storms, and it's knocked them over, and what you do is kind of knock them over like that, and real easy to do. And I need to do the whole row, get them done, and then I'll pull them, lay them out, let them dry for a day or so. Unless it's coming to rain, I'll have to get them moved on in. And these two little squash plants here, and I see some remnants right there on this squash plant of those squash bugs. They've laid their eggs there. I already squished that, but maybe you can see their eggs right there. But I'm going to eliminate those. If I see something like that, I go ahead and just get rid of them. But right there's a leaf with some on it. Just get them right off of there. Roll them around, squish them, get rid of the baby seeds. But these plants don't have any squash around them. I don't know if that's not squash, but any cabbage around them, so I don't know if that makes a difference or not. They haven't done as well up here because this is kind of more clay soil. It needs to be worked on, the soil up here in this end of the garden. This used to be part of the old home place where I was raised, and it just hasn't done quite as well. Foxy? No. And here's my littlest, newest okra, and it's coming on. I might end up with a little row of okra. I'm disappointed this year. It's, you know, July already, and I should have had better okra than this, and I usually do have. So, but thanks to the rabbits, I've kind of. But anyway, the cucumbers, we'll probably pick them a few more times, but I'm not going to water them or do anything else to them. I've only watered them once, but I'm pretty much through with the cucumbers for the season. Well, I've moved my baby chicks out to their grow pen here, and they can grow out and get bigger, and then I'll put them up here in the guineas. They're getting right up here and roosting on the roost like they're supposed to. The little chicks, they haven't learned to do that yet, but they will. They'll follow the guineas' leads. The little ducks are coming along really good and getting big. But those ducks sure make a mess of their water. Anyway, they're all looking good and doing good, and they're liking their new home here, and they like getting out of that brooder. They've been running and playing and having them a time here, so I think they're going to be just fine out here. And keep them plenty of feed there. They're doing good. That's a little look at this year's chicken crop. Had a predator problem, and something got in here to the chickens, and now they all want to roost over here in the old chicken house where the guineas roost. The guineas come over here and roost every night in this little old house right here, and I lock them up and close it up. But this pen here, I'm not sure what's happening, but they won't go in there and roost anymore, and I wondered if something got in here. I believe it was a coon, just because of the way it acted, and something that ate the eggs. The coons will eat the eggs and leave the shells there, and they have to be able to climb to get up to the nest. But there was feathers everywhere, and now none of my chickens will go in here to roost. They all want to go over here into this pen. It don't look like much, but they go over there and stay, and that's all fine and dandy. I've got these live traps, and I'm going to catch me a coon. I'm going to bait him good, but they're still laying eggs in there, the chickens are. But this here, I'm going to let them all keep roosting over yonder, and going to coon-proof this place pretty quick. And trying to keep, I don't know, I just keep missing him or whatever. But this time he must have killed a chicken. I can't tell which one he's killed. Not really missing any. But one of them is gone. Next week, we should be having our chickens hatch. And these little old chickens here, these two hens are due to hatch, I think, about the 16th, 17th, along in there. So they're set and doing really well, and I'm looking forward to having some little chicks. They both have 12 eggs apiece, and they've been good little mamas so far, and they're really watching their eggs. So anyway, I had this old metal here, and It's real shaded right now, but in the evening and the west sun, there's a certain time that it's not shaded too much, so I put that metal up there to kind of give them a little extra shade and keep them doing good. Well, one thing that's happened this week is I've lost a cow. She had anaplasm, and it's a disease that's spread by flies and ticks, and I've had that here before. Seemed like usually we'll have a case once a year, but anyway, she died on me. I gave her shots as the vet recommends, but I was too late, and so she ended up dying a few hours later. And but I just caught her too late. It's kind of hard this time of the year because they're ranging on different pastures, and when they get far away from the house, it's hard to keep an eye on, and one can get draggy on you. I talked about that in Cattle Talk this week, so if you watch that video, we talked about fly control and some things to do, but still didn't help her any. But she had a baby calf about 3 months old. He's born in April, so April, May, June, now it's July, so he's working on four months. And I've named him Wilie. He's doing real well. I'm feeding him some extra sweet feed, and he's kind of going to get to be my buddy. So I doubt if we make a beef out of him. But Wilie just kind of stuck, so I named him that. But here he is here. And a little black white face calf and a little steer. And he's a little skittish about getting around me and stuff. But he's gentling down. He's getting used to me being out here, and he misses his mama. So try not to spook him here. First time on TV, Wilie. How you like it? Do you feel like Willie Nelson? Don't go away. Was it not that big of a thrill? Well, come on, buddy. Don't be camera shy. Come on. Show me your good side. Come on. Sook, 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 sook. Show me your good side. There you go. That's a good boy. Anyway, I'm hoping he does well. He's eating lots of grass. I feed him a coffee can in the mornings of sweet feed. He don't eat all of that, but he's not had that, in his life. He's been milk and grass, so but he's eating good on the grass. He's got plenty of it to eat here. So I'm gonna keep him up here at the house and see what happens to him here. Hopefully he'll just keep on growing and do well, and I'll make a big pet out of him and spoil him a little bit. He was bawling a whole lot because he missed his mama, and I understand that, but he'll get better here. He's kind of stopped that bawling. He's quit walking the fences, and he's getting kind of gentled down a little bit. But introduce you to Wilie, our little orphaned calf. See you after a while, buddy. Well, picked another bucket of cucumbers today, and like I said earlier, we're not going to water them anymore. We're going to let the cucumbers kind of play out. I know there is an egg in there. I only got one egg today. They've been laying 2 or 3 eggs, and today only one. But since something got in the hen house, I'm not sure what all he's killed or caught and what's going on, but they're roosting another spot, so they may not even go in there and lay. But there was one that laid. And I was going to show you my grow beds. These are self-wicking. I've got a video on how to do it, but I have this little pipe you water it in, and I planted cucumbers in here. I know we got cucumbers in the garden, and we're going to let them play out, but this will just be for eating, for slicing, putting maybe in some vinegar or whatever my wife wants to do. But some of the ones are already coming up here. I planted them 3 or 4 or 5 days ago. In this warm weather, they'll usually really take off. But if we can watch a video I have on these self-wicking tubs. I think I've got it out at the time of this video. If not, I'll have it out here soon. I've done some buckets the same way, but I have a pipe down in a coffee can, and then there's coffee cans all the way around that have holes in them, and in the middle dirt goes clear to the bottom. But I planted different things in each tub, and this one here I planted some squash, And it looks like I even have a couple of little squashes coming up. I planted some lemon squash from Baker Seed Company my wife had. And then this here is some pumpkins. One is a jack-o'-lantern pumpkin, and here's another one coming up right there. So they're starting to sprout quickly. This little one here is a pie pumpkin, and this over here is what they call jack-o'-lantern. But anyway, we'll see how those do. I'm going to let them vine. I'll move these tubs and let them vine down this fence. And, you know, if you know anything about pumpkins, they sure do vine a whole lot. But that's, I'm going to do all these tubs. I just got to get more soil, and some of them's got holes that need to be fixed. I'm going to line them with plastic if they've got holes down too low. And I'm going to put them all the way down through here and kind of make a little bit of a back porch kitchen garden. And my grapevines have died out on me. I only have one. I had 4 here, and one of them is I thought it was dead too, but it has come back. So thank the Lord for that, and it's growing good. So I'm gonna let it grow down this fence, and eventually I'm gonna let them grow clear up to the top of this and make me a arbor to come down to this other side over here. I'm moving the camera like you can really tell what I'm doing, but I'm gonna build a little deal just like this fence over here, and I'm gonna put cattle panels up here and make me a little covered arbor, but it'll be covered by grapevines. So just something I'm playing with kind of for fun. And I planted these squash in these tubs, and they're really made a lot of squash, but they're looking very ugly, but they're still growing. And but these tubs aren't wicking tubs, they're just regular old tubs, and I think these would have done a whole lot better in a wicking tub. And these have had a little bit of squash bugs. I haven't sprayed them. I just, if I catch a squash bug, I pinch it off. If I see any on the leaves, I have been just taking the leaf off and squishing them. And you know, I see the little eggs on the leaves, so I'll just take and kind of pinch them off. And so far they're still hanging on. We got plenty of other squash out in the garden. And then these are some tomatoes my wife's playing with that she started indoors. She ordered some seeds from Baker Seeds, and I can't tell you what they are right now. She's told me several times, but you know how that is. And here's these little tomatoes aren't doing very well. It looks like something's been eating on them. But here's some peppers my wife started indoors from seeds, and she's got them wrote on there what they are. She got from Baker Seeds. We went and visited up there in Missouri this year, and she got some seeds, and I think she later ordered some more. This is a cherry tomato plant, and I'm hoping it comes on for fall. This is kind of our fall tomatoes here. I've showed you these before. I made wicking tubs out of these. They're doing really well. These are Cherokee purples, and these are Rutger tomatoes, a couple of them indeterminate type tomatoes. And here's some more of her peppers, different kinds. This one says violet sparkler, some kind of bell peppers. They're supposed to be different colors. She kind of labels them. This is a pimento pepper. It's starting to really look pretty, but won't make till fall. Anyway, I have moved the turkeys out here to their grow house, and they're doing good. Not grow house, but the brooder house out of the shop. They were in a watering trough. I've showed pictures of them if you've watched the other videos, but they're really coming on good, and they're pretty gentle little old birds. They're not all that wild, but they're bourbon red turkeys. So we haven't lost any yet. We had 14 birds. We'd ordered 15, and they shorted us one. We don't know what happened yet, but someone just miscounted. But nonetheless, we got 14 of them, and they're all healthy and doing good. I'm conditioning them in here, getting them ready to move them out into a bigger pen here. Probably be about a week. They'll get moved over. They're growing pretty quick here. Not even a month old yet. I think they're 3 weeks old. You can see how well they are and how they're coloring and just doing really good. I hope they turn a little darker red. They're supposed to be bourbon reds. They look kind of more of a buff color right now, but I'm sure that will change as they get a little bit older. I just want to say again, thank you for watching. If you haven't already, if you would subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, comment, let us know what's going on around your homestead. I'll just tell you right now, we are very, very busy, and we've been so blessed, and God's been so good to us, and I can't ever give Him enough praise and glory for what He has done. But homesteading is a way of life for us, and we've done this for several years. We keep getting more and more into it as we get older, and we see the importance of it as we get older, having more of an independent lifestyle. Not that we could ever make it all by ourselves. You know, we've got to have the Lord number one, and we need friends and a network of people. But this time of the year, we are working trying to get food preserved. Before fall, we'll try to have a beef butcher. If we have extra chickens, we'll butcher some of those. Put up extra feed for the winter, hay for the cows, grain for the cows, whatever. We're trying to get everything prepared. We'll get our propane tanks filled before, while the price is cheap now, we'll get that filled up, and we'll be all laid back, tried to be set up for the winter. In the winter, my personal work, it does not make as much money. We make enough to get along alone, but then you have the holidays and everything, and you know, Thanksgiving and Christmas, we'll usually take a few days off during that time and go spend with friends and family. And sometimes we have a little added expenses there because we'll buy gifts for certain folks, say, around Christmas. And then at Thanksgiving, you know, there's extra food costs and things because we'll have a big bunch over here for Thanksgiving dinner. And so anyway, we start preparing. Now, you might call it prepping, but it's just part of a homesteader's lifestyle, the way the old-timers did it. That's the way we try to do it. And we're getting stuff raised and ready. And so this time of the year, you got long days, long hours to work, and you can get a whole lot of stuff accomplished if you just put forth some effort. So that's kind of what's going on here right now. I'm trying to do this week on the homestead, trying to do videos on it each week on Saturday and airing it at 7 o'clock nightly each Saturday. On Tuesdays, I'm doing going to start calling it porch time. And Foxy, you better not. Over there pestering my turkeys, just like a kid. You come over here and be a good boy. That's right. And so anyway, we're airing on Tuesday nights what I call porch time, and it's just a time I sit on the back porch and talk about the goings on about homesteading or whatever subject. And if you have a subject you'd like for us to discuss on Tuesdays, well, I'll certainly try to. I've had some suggestions, and I'm going to try to talk on it. There's some subjects that I don't feel qualified to talk about. Other subjects I may not be have a doctorate in that subject, but I just perhaps experience that I've had. So if I can share that with you and help you, or if it would entertain you. I love watching YouTube videos. I don't get to as much this time of the year like I would like to. I noticed that some of the viewerships have dropped off somewhat, and I think it's because people are so busy around the 4th and different things. But I love watching when I can. We usually don't come in till about 9:30, and I usually go to bed about 11. So during that time there, I have things I need to do inside the house as well, paperwork and different things. But I also try to watch while I'm doing that some videos of my favorite channels, and then I try to find a few new channels, and I've ran across some really good ones lately that I have really enjoyed. There's one called Mac Family Farm or Mac Family Homestead. I'm sorry, I can't remember the exact name, but a young couple there, and I tell you, they've got some good videos. They got a milk cow, and they do rotational grazing. They got some things I've really been enjoying. So, but anyway, I sure appreciate you watching this week. I certainly want to thank all of you that have been subscribing. Our subscriber numbers have been going up, and those that are subscribing, it really blesses my heart, and I want to say a deep thank you to that. And some of our regular followers that are commenting and putting thumbs up on our videos, we certainly appreciate you. And without people following along and watching our videos, it'd be worthless to put all this stuff up. And also, by the way, I think I might have missed it, on Thursdays at 7 o'clock, I'm doing a cattle talk video that I upload that's just plain old about cattle. And I'm going to start doing a Sunday video that's a devotional video. I do one called Coffee Time on Facebook, and I get a lot of folks have been watching that, and my viewership has went up, and I really enjoy doing that, and it has been a blessing to a lot of folks. It's been a blessing to me, and I meet folks all the time. We even was up in Missouri, and there was a lady told me that she watches my Coffee Time. So what I'm going to start doing is trying to air that on Sundays, and see how that goes over. You know, some folks, there's so many different flavors of religion. You're afraid of offending somebody or hurting somebody just because some haven't been taught the whole Word of God, or perhaps they don't just see it the way I do. So I don't claim to know it all in the Word of God, but I have taught Sunday school and preached for about 40 years now, so I know a little bit about it. I don't claim to be anything but just called of the Lord to spread the Word, and so I do that, and I'm going to do that on Sundays. Going to try to do a deal Sundays on the Homestead, or Coffee Time on the Homestead, whatever, and probably use that video that I share weekly, and maybe put in a little gospel music and stuff. And some folks don't go to church on Sunday nights, so I'm thinking about airing it on Sunday nights, probably at 6 or 7 o'clock. But it's something I'm working on. I know some of you that are my YouTube followers have actually followed me on Facebook and have made comments before, and some of you, I even have a little ministry channel, and some of you have followed that. I've not done much with it. It's not, I've just not really gotten in that on YouTube, but on Facebook it's done very well. But if you would like to watch that on Sundays, I'm going to try to have it aired this Sunday at 6 o'clock. So tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, I think I'm going to try that, because a lot of churches start at 6. Not that I want people not to go to church, but we have most of our churches around here do not have Sunday night services anymore. They have quit, and people stay home. And I thought, well, there might be some homesteaders out there that you're staying home because your church don't have services, or I know some that they let the youth have their services, and so if you don't fit into that category or not part of it, well, it's kind of hard. Now, our church still has Sunday night services at 6 o'clock, and we have Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. So Sunday night we actually have 6:30 service. But it's not to get anybody to miss, because they can watch the video anytime, and I certainly don't want, if you go to church somewhere, that's where I want you to go. I hope you are helping out in some church. I don't really care what flavor you are. There's kind of like Baskin Robbins. There's so many different flavors of religion that it's a deal that, you know, you ain't going to be able to please everybody. I'm very opinionated when it comes to certain subjects. I believe that there's things you can do, and I believe there's things that is clear in God's Word you're not supposed to do. And but I believe if you do those things and you mess up, you sin, I believe you have forgiveness through God, though. I believe His grace, if you ask Him, His grace is sufficient, and He will forgive you of any wrongdoings. You don't have to ask me, you don't have to ask a priest, but you can ask God. And you can pray directly to Him and ask for His forgiveness, is how I look at it and see it. But anyway, without getting into a whole sermon and preaching to you today, because I know that's not what you tuned in. Some folks have nothing to do with religion at all. That's your business, what you do. But if you are into religion and you are a Christian, and I call my homestead here a faith-based homestead, because I feel like without God, none of this would be possible. And He has blessed me. I mean, I started with absolutely nothing. A lot of folks look at me today and say, that you're a nothing still. When I go in the bank, it's not like they're looking saying, oh, here comes our biggest depositor. No, they're probably looking like, you know, that poor old fella there. But I'm telling you, I have been blessed of God. And I do have a whole lot more today as far as tangible things than I did when I got started. So I know you can't measure it all on that, but more importantly, I have a heavenly home, and that's going to be beyond anything ever imaginable to man. But I give God all the glory and the praise. I give Him for every breath I take, for every heartbeat, for every drink of water, for every ounce of food. I give God all the glory and the praise, and I couldn't make it without Him. I don't even want to try to make it without Him. There's an old song that says, I can't even walk without you holding my hand, and I certainly don't want to even try without holding God's hand. Well, anyway, I appreciate you today watching this week on the Homestead here at Cedar Creek Homestead. I hope you enjoyed this video, just a kind of a montage update video of what we've had going on here at the Homestead. And hoping you're doing fine, and may God richly bless you, and we'll see you next week. Have a great day or good evening. We're gone.